The WWE issues a public statement after huge Austin Theory changes, Alexa Bliss Charlotte Flair betrayal. The WWE is reportedly planning a huge shakeup, a huge update on WWE's deal with TNA, an update on LA Knight. John Cena's farewell was a missed opportunity due to poor creative booking. Triple H accused of holding back Drew McIntyre and Kross. A fired WWE star attacks John Cena and Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch personal update. Let's dive right in. Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair betrayal. WWE is set to host the first Smackdown of 2026 in Brooklyn, New York, and the excitement among fans is at a fever pitch. The Blue brand will officially kick off its 3-hour format starting tonight. Several major things have been advertised for the show, including a huge ambulance match. As the company ushers in the new year, Triple H may have some major surprises for the fans. How Smackdown kicks off 2026 will set the tone for the entire year, giving fans a brief idea of what to expect. Therefore, WWE will seemingly look to make the most of it. The company could fill tonight's show with several big surprises and shockers that could leave fans flabbergasted. It may electrify the arena and hype up the WWE universe for the upcoming months. Number 1. Major betrayal between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair have been working as a cohesive tag team since July 2024. What began as an awkward alliance blossomed into a beautiful friendship over time, and things have been going pretty well. However, WWE could showcase a shocking betrayal angle between Bliss and Flair tonight that might leave fans weeping. Triple H could do that to give the WWE Universe a shock factor to kick off 2026 in a memorable way. Besides, the women's tag team division is currently overcrowded with several teams vying for the gold. Therefore, WWE breaking up Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair's alliance will help the company carry the two as single stars heading into the Royal Rumble season. Number 2. Tiffany Stratton's stunning return on SmackDown. Tiffany Stratton has been away from the programming since losing the WWE Women's Championship to Jade Cargill at Saturday night's main event last year. Fans are expecting the Buff Barbie to return at the Women's Royal Rumble match later this month. However, Triple H could surprise the fans tonight by bringing Stratton back on television. The 26-year-old could make a blockbuster return on the first SmackDown of 2026 in Brooklyn, New York. The women's division of the Blue brand is currently lacking top-tier stars in the main event scene. Therefore, Triple H may not delay Tiffany Stratton's return any further, as bringing her back at this point will allow WWE incorporate her into the storyline for Royal Rumble. Number 3. Major championship changing hands. The first SmackDown of 2026 will potentially set the tone for the feuds and storylines of the whole year. Therefore, Triple H might ensure to give fans some jaw-dropping moments, and one of those could be a shocking title change. There is a possibility that the WWE Tag Team Championship could finally change hands tonight on the Blue brand. Ever since winning the tag title, the Wyatt Six have held it hostage. The Sinister faction is currently involved in a heated feud with the MFT. WWE could set up an impromptu title match tonight where the Wyatts could end up losing their championship. Fans could get to see Solo Sikoa's faction capturing the WWE Tag Team Championship tonight. Number 4. Nick Aldis's shocking heel turn on SmackDown. Another major surprise Triple H can pull off on the Blue brand tonight is Nick Aldis's heel turn. The 39-year-old has been serving as the SmackDown general manager for the last couple of years. Time and time again, he faced agitations and humiliation from superstars for his decisions. However, the disrespect Aldis has been getting from Cody Rhodes lately is unmatched. There is a good possibility that the general manager could finally snap tonight. In a shocking turn of events, Nick Aldis could turn heel. This could be one of the biggest surprises of the new year that fans are not anticipating. This is why Triple H could pull the trigger on this and turn Aldis into a heel authoritarian figure on Friday Night SmackDown. The WWE is reportedly planning a huge shakeup. It seems like the end of an era for WWE, as the Nick Khan and TKO-led company is reportedly looking to make a major shakeup after half a decade over a broadcast deal. That deal is the 5-year, $1 billion agreement WWE signed with Peacock for exclusive rights to the premium live events, as well as an archive of the company's historic content. This report comes from Fightful Select, which gave huge details on the end of an era. The report revealed that there hadn't been a new deal for the library of content it hosted, and as a result, the sports entertainment giant was exploring its options. The belief is that much of the content will be uploaded slowly to YouTube, where the company has a massive following and a supposedly favorable deal with Google, as they are a top-performing channel. Fightful Select further noted that WWE is working to secure a non-exclusive host, but that YouTube is a part of their plans. However, don't expect a mass release of content on YouTube, as the company is likely to do so only with a partner with whom it can reach an agreement. As for NXT PLEs and Saturday night's main events, they will remain on Peacock. Media rights deals in sports, and by extension WWE, have been seeing an uptick for well over half a decade now. While not as lucrative as giants such as the NFL in the US and the Premier League in the UK, the fact is that broadcasting rights deals are now part and parcel of the company's business model, making up a sizable chunk of its revenue. This is why TKO repeatedly mentioned that UFC's pay-per-view model was outdated, going on to secure a $1 billion+ per year deal with Paramount. For their flagship wrestling company, ESPN presents a new home, or a relatively new one anyway, as the deal kicked off at WrestlePalooza this past September. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out, as the company has strategically shifted from Peacock to ESPN in an attempt to secure more legitimacy and a high-profile sports platform. What is notable is that TKO and ESPN were on shaky terms over the previous UFC deal, which ended when the aforementioned Paramount Plus deal was signed. It was well known that ESPN didn't make enough money to recoup the upfront costs they paid the UFC for each pay-per-view. It looks like the legacy sports brand is giving it another shot, this time hoping to bring in the diverse WWE fan base, and that it translates into subscriptions. There has been talk for a while now of this media rights bubble bursting. While the numbers suggest it could happen across different sports, the sports entertainment juggernaut seems to be experiencing a different reality. With a little under 5 years left on their $1.6 billion deal with ESPN and 9 years left on their gargantuan $5 billion Netflix deal, the company only seems to be falling upward. If any bubble bursts, they have made sure to secure themselves for a few years longer. What happens after that, only time will tell. A huge update on WWE's deal with TNA. The historic deal between WWE and TNA has been very successful over the past few years. Both promotions have made headlines with their superstars' appearances and delivered numerous dream matches. TNA superstars have benefited from the deal, getting the opportunity to showcase their incredible talent on the biggest wrestling promotion in the world, across some of the company's biggest stages. Furthermore, NXT superstars have successfully leveraged the crossover by showcasing their immense talent against TNA stars, allowing fans of the promotion to get to know them better and capture the attention of millions worldwide. A major update has now been reported by Bodyslam.net, revealing what the future holds for the massive deal between the two promotions and how the backstage management reacts to its results. According to the report, the deal between WWE and TNA is expected to continue at least through 2028. This makes it clear that the crossover might get more exciting in the future. Furthermore, the report also states that the higher-ups of both companies are very happy with the relationship between promotions and the opportunities it is creating for their stars. Time will now tell what the companies have planned for the future. TNA legend AJ Styles has already announced that he is set to mark his in-ring retirement in 2026. The Phenomenal One has made headlines with his work in the Stamford-based company over the years, and fans have been wondering if the star would make one final appearance in TNA ahead of his retirement. A potential appearance from Styles would undoubtedly enhance his legacy and make his retirement tour memorable. Fans will have to wait and see what the WWE star has in store for his final few months in the industry. An update on LA Knight. LA Knight has been on a hiatus from WWE's weekly product, but there's good news in store for the megastar heading into a new year. Last year, LA Knight became a two-time United States champion when he got one over on Shinsuke Nakamura and entered his first WrestleMania as champion. While he didn't win against Jacob Fatu, the megastar slowly became one of the most over babyfaces in the promotion. After he moved to Monday Night Raw, he feuded with The Vision and was eventually written off television by the Villainous faction. However, there's a silver lining for Knight, as he had the most matches, 48, in 2025. This does not include his work on the live events. Moreover, it's good news for a star to have the most matches a year, as the company in the past has favored such stars and given them a push on the weekly product. This could also happen with LA Knight when he returns to the promotion. Last year, LA Knight moved to WWE Raw and eventually scored a win over the Vision's Seth Rollins, which established him as a top face on the Red brand. In the coming months, he feuded with the Villainous group and tried to win the World Heavyweight Championship. In December, he was written off television when Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Logan Paul attacked him and made sure he was written off television. While reports have stated that the two-time WWE United States champion will be back on television, Bodyslam provided new information. According to the report, the return is expected to take place sooner rather than later, which could be on the first edition of Monday Night Raw in New York. The show also features a title match between CM Punk and Braun Breaker, and Knight could easily return to the storyline if he appears and assists Punk against the group. John Cena's farewell was a missed opportunity due to poor creative booking. Vince Russo is tearing into WWE over how the company has handled John Cena's retirement run, calling it a complete creative failure and saying one of the biggest stars in wrestling history was turned into an afterthought. Speaking on -7 Sports, Russo was asked what he's enjoyed about Cena's farewell stretch. His response was immediate and blunt, making it clear he believes WWE squandered a once-in-a-generation opportunity. "Bro, it sucked. There's nothing to enjoy." Russo explained that he initially tried to give WWE the benefit of the doubt, pointing to moments where it appeared the creative direction was aligned behind the scenes. However, he said that unity quickly collapsed when plans involving The Rock reportedly fell apart. When you watch that Unreal series on Netflix, there was a point where everybody was on the same page. You saw it when Triple H and Rock were going over the promo. Everybody was on the same page. Then bro, behind the scenes, creatively, something drastically went wrong. According to Russo, the issue wasn't just a creative disagreement. It was WWE's inability to adjust once their original plan unraveled. I think Rock wanted to do things a certain way, and they poo-pooed Rock again. At that point, I think Rock checked out and said, "Go do what you want to do and die on the vine yourselves." And that's the problem, bro. When Plan A dies, you've got to pivot. They had no plan B, an absolute horror show. Russo said the lack of preparation is especially unforgivable considering how much advance notice WWE had. Freaking Cena gave them a year's notice. A year's notice, bro. They had a year to plot that whole thing out. Stuff's gonna happen, I get that. But when it does, you've got to pivot. Instead, Russo argued that WWE made Cena's final run confusing and inconsistent, even pointing to abrupt character shifts that made little sense. The first pivot was Cena cutting a promo going from heel to babyface. That made absolutely no sense. You can't do things that way, man. For Russo, the clearest sign that WWE dropped the ball came when Cena was placed in a multi-man match late in his farewell run, including at Madison Square Garden. When you're at Madison Square Garden and he only has 2 matches left and you put the guy in a 6-man, he's an afterthought now, bro. He literally is an afterthought. Russo said Cena's retirement should have been the centerpiece of WWE programming, not just another segment on the card. Every single one of these shows should have revolved around John Cena. How does John Cena become an afterthought? Come on, bro. With Cena winding down his in-ring career, Russo's comments are likely to spark debate about whether WWE honored its most recognizable star properly or let poor planning derail what should have been a defining moment in company history. Triple H accused of holding back Drew McIntyre and Kross. Vince Russo is throwing more fire at WWE's leadership, this time accusing Triple H of sabotaging top-tier talent like Drew McIntyre and Kross before they get too big. In a no-filter segment on -7 Sports, Russo went off when asked who WWE should go all in on now that John Cena is stepping away. Instead of pointing to a new rising star, Russo flipped the question into a full-blown takedown of WWE's internal politics. Using Kross and Scarlett as examples, Russo questioned why a marketable duo with clear star power would be let go unless someone behind the scenes saw them as a threat. When you've got a package of Kross and Scarlett, and let me say this about Scarlett, this is a beautiful woman. I'm not talking hot. This is a movie star looking woman. This is Sable. When you've got this couple that's like dollar signs all over them and their contract is not renewed, bro, you know it's one of 2 things. Number 1, it's either politics, or number 2, the people who are in charge of their careers are incompetent. So they need to go. It's one of those 2 things. Then came Drew McIntyre, whom Russo believes WWE never fully backed, even though he checks every box a megastar should. Russo's theory? Triple H sees these guys as threats to his legacy and acts accordingly. The guy I look at, bro, he's going to become a huge movie star and then you're going to look back on his WWE career and say, are you freaking kidding me? Bro, the fact that Drew McIntyre isn't at the top, are you kidding me? Tattoo dollar signs all over this freaking guy. Look at the way they booked this guy, bro. People need to be fired. Triple H still has the mentality of a wrestler. And bro, when Triple H sees somebody come along that has the potential to be better than he was, he's gonna chop them off at the knees, bro. He said the pattern has happened before and it's playing out again today. That's what happened with Kross. That's what happened with Drew McIntyre. That's why you can never have a wrestler, a former wrestler, be in charge of creative that is going to have a bearing on other wrestlers. Russo's take adds to the ongoing conversation about WWE's future and whether its top stars are being used to their fullest potential or being quietly pushed down the card. A fired WWE star attacks John Cena and Roman Reigns, a former WWE star who was believed to be one of the next major names in the company, and a generational talent was unfortunately released, and he spoke about John Cena and Roman Reigns and explained briefly why he doesn't want to be like them. That star is none other than Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson, who was considered by many to be the next Kurt Angle. Many believed that he could succeed in that role, and WWE was quick to snap him up. However, reports of a lack of progress stalled him for a few years, and in 2024, he was released. The gold medalist, now an MMA fighter, appeared on the Joe Rogan Experience MMA show, which is on YouTube. Speaking to Joe Rogan, Gable Steveson said that he doesn't want to have a line like John Cena or Roman Reigns does. I've always spoken about myself highly. I always wanted to be over the top, like in WWE, when he gets on the microphone and John Cena says, "You can't see me," or when Roman Reigns says, "Acknowledge me." When I go out there, I don't want to say those things. When you see me, that's him, and I've always had to be that bigger than Gable person. Steveson addressed his failed run in the company. The star revealed how great the short experience was for him and how he had an incredible time with Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Vince McMahon. However, since he was trying to balance both WWE and college wrestling, things didn't work out for him, which led him to want to get out. Honestly, I had a great experience. I have nothing wrong with anybody there. TKO was great. Triple H, Paul Levesque was great. Stephanie, Vince, everybody was great. I just had a competitive drive that I needed to get out. And so, when you have that gap is there, you can't do both. And I was trying to bridge both. And I wasn't giving my 100% to the business. And if I'm not going to give 100% to the business, then you might as well X me out because it's already over with. So, that's practically how it happened, he stated. Gable Steveson recently dropped a massive announcement on Instagram, leaving his fans around the world elated for him. The star revealed that he had welcomed a baby girl with his girlfriend, Maddie Mitchell. It would now be interesting to see how fatherhood changes his entire life and career in the near future. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch personal update. Becky Lynch recently took to social media to share a personal update with her husband, Seth Rollins. The Visionary is currently out of action with an injury. Seth Rollins seemingly suffered a shoulder injury while performing the Coast to Coast during his match against Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel 2025. He confirmed his injury on the following edition of Monday Night Raw. Later in the same show, the Visionary was written off television after being brutally assaulted by Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. He also had to vacate his World Heavyweight Championship. Amid his absence from WWE TV, Becky Lynch took to her Instagram stories to share a photo with her husband from their day out in a cafe. Big Time Bex referred to Rollins as her smoking hot husband, writing that her 2026 was off to a great start. The man also revealed that her New Year's resolution was to end Maxine Dupree's reign as the Women's Intercontinental Champion. For those unaware, Lynch and Dupree are all set to lock horns for the title on the January 5th, 2026 edition of Monday Night Raw. 2026 is off to a hot start. Look at my smoking hot husband. Look at my delicious hot coffee from Dayglow Coffee. Happy 8 years. My top New Year's resolution is to end the fake reign of Moody Maxine on Monday. Cheers to that, she wrote. In an interview on More Stories, Seth Rollins took a jab at former WWE writer Vince Russo, calling the latter an idiot. Now, during a recent edition of Vince Russo's The Brand, the veteran clapped back at the Visionary, taking a shot at his wife, Becky Lynch. Russo said that he believed the man did not know how to cut a good promo, and if Rollins cannot handle this criticism, then he won't apologize for it. I don't think your wife's promos are good. And I've said 1,000,000 times, I'll say it 1,000,001 now. When you listen to Becky Lynch's promos, people don't talk like that. That's not how people talk. She clearly is cutting a promo. And that's my critique of that, he said. And if you can't handle it, and your wife can't, I'm not going to freaking apologize for that, he added. It remains to be seen when Seth Rollins will return to the Stamford-based promotion's weekly programming. The WWE issues a public statement after huge Austin Theory changes. The former WWE United States Champion and Money in the Bank winner, Austin Theory, returned to Monday Night Raw and revealed himself as the mystery masked man who was helping the Vision faction in cahoots. Now, Theory has officially joined the Vision faction and has been on the path of dominating the entire division alongside his stablemates. Following his return to the company as the Masked Man, Austin made his singles in-ring return against the Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio on Monday Night Raw. Fans noticed that A-Town Down had debuted a new theme song, which sat well with his new heel persona. Now, WWE took to their official Instagram handle, posting Theory's entrance on new music, and made a public statement. The upcoming edition of WWE will emanate live from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn on January 5th, and fans are highly anticipating the flagship show's first edition this year. The card is stacked with massive matches. The night is also major for the Vision faction, as they are all set to bring back the World Heavyweight Championship to their group, as the muscle of the group, Braun Breaker, will be locking horns with CM Punk for the World Heavyweight strap in a singles match. The title bout may headline the first edition of Monday Night Raw, and is bound to be a shocker, holding the potential to steal the entire show, and also change the trajectory of the Red Brand's men's division if Breaker manages to pull the upset by beating the best in the world to become the new champion of the Red Brand. That said, it will be interesting to see what plans the Triple H-led creative team has in store for the Punk Breakers title bout for the upcoming episode of Raw, as the company heads closer to the road to WrestleMania 42.